So, next question is should I file my spousal visa at the embassy or the United States? That's a complicated question. Reason being is because there's only 24 international USCIS offices at embassies around the world. So, one, that's not very many. And two, you must meet the requirements to file in that particular country and at that international USCIS office. One of those requirements is that you're either a permanent resident of that country or a citizen. You've been there at least 6 months. And from our experience, most visas to a country usually don't last more than 90 days, maybe 6 months max. So the first thing is you have to find out if you're even eligible, find out if the U.S. Embassy there even has an international USCIS office. But it's been our experience that it's probably it makes more sense to file with the USCIS. They process millions of petitions, whereas you look at some of the international USCIS offices, they may only process a few in a year. They just don't have a lot of experience with it. We've processed quite a few direct consular filing cases here at Rapid Visa, and it's been a mixed results. We've had some take over a year, take much longer than it normally does. We've had a couple cases that only took 4 to 6 months, which wasn't too bad. But we've had some embassies completely screw it up, and it was like they didn't even know what the process was.
Yeah, I would add to it. You got to ask yourself, what's the upside? If you're living in if you're living in a country and you've been there for a little while, and that's where you met your spouse, of course, and now you want to come back, it's tempting to think, well, I live 20 miles from the embassy. Isn't it easier? Doesn't it make more sense to be applied directly to the embassy? And the answer is really written directly on the CIS website themselves. They say, and you could call us if you want the reference, we can give you a link to their site. They say there's no time difference, so it's not going to speed anything up. Maybe it saves you a little postage. You're going to mail it, because you never get to hand deliver these things, right? It's almost always mail. Maybe you get to mail it to the same town you're in instead of mailing it to the United States and save. That would be the only benefit, because the government themselves say it does not speed it up. And our experience is it typically slows it down, or it's a little bit of an irregular process, because you're dealing with now somebody down at the embassy who has a million other jobs, dealing with tourists who lost their visa and all these other things. And now on top of that, they got to mess around with your spousal visa. Where the people you send that to in the United States, they're doing it all day, 8 hours a day. That's all they're doing. They're experts. And they're going to get it in and out, in and out, in and out. And so our experience is there's really, other than a few dollars postage, there's absolutely no advantage or any reason under any circumstance we would recommend direct consular filing. Now, if you feel strong about it and you want to do it, we'll do that for you. It's certainly something we offer. But you would be doing it really against our advice, just because, again, CIS has a well-honed, well-worn process of getting these things through the system. The embassies, by their very nature, it's not what they normally deal with. And so that's why we just don't recommend it. There's just no upside. If there was some upside to it, sure. But other than saving a few bucks postage, we've never, there is no upside.